Hello, folks. The three of you that have seen my videos before, you probably know this already, but for those who have not, I don't get these products from companies. I buy them myself and I use them myself, and then I tell you about my experience with using them. And I don't tell you about specs or anything like that. If you want specs, there's plenty of other videos out there and bloggers that have all the specs and all the camera comparisons and all that good stuff. They won't really tell you about real world use, but they'll go over the specs just fine. So if that's what you want, go for it. I've been looking at this phone for a long time. This is the Motorola Razr 2022, and I got this from AliExpress. This is a global ROM version, and I was hesitant about whether it was actually going to be a global ROM or real global ROM. I heard rumors from other people that had bought other China-only Motorola phones that when they got the phone and it was supposed to be a global ROM, it was a ROM for a different phone. So I was a little nervous about that. But I went ahead and I bought it. AliExpress has a Lenovo store. I don't know if it's a legit Lenovo store or if it's a front. But anyways, they are the only ones that have the one with the global ROM. So I was a bit nervous, but I said, well, I can always send it back. So I bought it, and the box is nice. It's a nice presentation. They give you a plastic cover for the phone, which is horrible. It kind of reminds me of the plastic that used to go on couches in like the 60s and 70s. Ugh, just ugly. So I went and I got this case for it. It's this nice kind of leather case. It feels nice in the hand, gives it a good grip, and I think it looks pretty good. So this is a global ROM, and I'm going to turn it on because there's something that I got to warn you about, but I got to show you. So I'm going to turn it on, and if you buy this phone, you're going to see this, a message about the bootloader being unlocked. And the bootloader is unlocked because, well, they had to install a different a different ROM in there. So they give you a warning about financial stuff and everything, and I'm not that big of a nerd to know what the real issues are there. So if you are, great, feel free to comment and tell people in the comments. As you can see, it booted up and it did say Razr there. So this is actually a ROM for a Razr. I'm going to unlock this thing. Now, I've never had a Razr phone before, so for all I know, this is a Razr. This is the Razr global ROM from last year's from the previous model Razr. I don't know for sure. So I'm going to tell you about what works, what doesn't work, what I like, what I didn't like, and I've been using this for about 3 weeks. Overall, I have to say it's a great phone. I really liked it. Everything worked. All my apps worked. I got my notifications. You can set your notifications up. You can use Google Messages. I also have an Oppo Find N, and you couldn't set that up to use messages. It would always revert back to the default message app from the Chinese manufacturer, from Oppo. Anyways, all my apps sent me notifications. I think there was a couple apps where I needed to go into the app settings and change it to say allow allow on in the background or something like that, and that fixed that problem. Android Auto also works. It works very well. I have had a couple issues, but I don't know if it's the phone or something else, because on the car that I'm using it on, I have a Dodge Challenger as one of my cars, and I have a Motorola MA1 dongle that works well, but on the maps, I noticed that occasionally it would say searching for GPS. I don't know if that was an issue with this phone or if it was an issue with the dongle. So I'm waiting for another phone to come in. I ordered a ZT40 Ultra, and I'll let you guys know when that comes in. And if that makes a difference, then I'll let you know. Anyways, like I said, all the apps work just fine. I haven't had any issues. It's smooth. The apps seem to come up just fine. Um, obviously depending on your Wi-Fi connection. And I use Mint Mobile, which runs off of T-Mobile, and I haven't had any issues with coverage or I get 5G no problem. I have my banking apps installed. I really only have one or two, and those work just fine. The only one I had a problem with was Google Pay. Google Pay would not be set up because uh, um, it it gave me an error message that said that the phone is the bootloader is either unlocked or the phone is not Google Play certified. That's true in both cases. If you go into the Google Play app and you go into the settings, there's a spot where it will tell you if it's Google Play certified, and this phone is not. I tried some other um, things I found on XDA forums about running an app that tells you what that tells you a certain code that you register with Google, and it would register the phone. And but that didn't work for this one at all. I also thought about relocking the bootloader, but I did some research on that and found that there would be a great big possibility that I could brick the phone if I did that. So I didn't think that was a great idea. So so the way I got around Google Pay not working is I have a Google Watch. So I set up Google Pay on my Pixel Watch, and that worked fine. And somehow it kind of sort of translated to the phone because there's a Chipotle app that I order from food from, and when I order it, I can always pay through my Google Pay. So I think it's fine. Um, I don't actually know if because I set it up on my Pixel Watch, if it actually ended up setting up on my phone too. But all I know is it works. So life is great. If I look at this phone you can kind of see the crease a little bit. You don't feel it. I mean, yeah, there you can see the reflection. You can totally see it. But of course, the screen is off and it's black. And here's a side view. You really can't. It just looks so nice and flat. And when it's on, you of course you can't see anything. So I wouldn't worry about the crease too much. The crease is nothing compared to like the Galaxy Flip, the Flip 4, or the Fold 4. Those creases are humongous and they're easy to see. This one also folds flat. The only bit of light coming out of it is like up at the very top of the hinge there. You see the very top of the hinge there? Um, Anyways, that's the only light that comes out. This front screen is fairly usable. Let me unlock it. And, you can swipe notifications away. I don't have any notifications right now, so that's why they're not coming up. And then you can get weather. And then if I go one more over, it's the camera. And I'm not going to do that because I don't want to shoot the camera right now. Otherwise, that's locked. And you can tell that it's locked because you can't do anything with it. The problem with this is the fingerprint unlock is right there. And I can't tell you how many times I've put this thing in my pocket and I put it in my pocket and I grab it like this. And the fingerprint unlocker works so nicely that I would find my phone on when I put it in my pocket. So that wasn't good. So now I just kind of rotate it and end up putting it in my pocket like this. And that works just fine. One thing to note about that is that if you hold the phone like this, which is pretty natural to do, I would think. I'm a righty when it comes to like holding a phone and stuff. If I hold it like this, it's already unlocked. You can see it's unlocked, and then I open it and it's already unlocked. Not a big deal because in most cases that comes in handy. I will tell you that this on/off button is a kind of a light touch. So when you first try it, you might do this a few times where you go to press the fingerprint and you actually end up turning it off. I've gotten used to this and I don't do it anymore, but you might. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this phone? Like I said, I haven't had any issues with it. It performs well. The cameras Okay, let's talk cameras. A lot of other reviewers have said the cameras on this thing are not great, and they're not. They're fine. But I've been a photographer for over 20 years, and one thing I found is that my pictures, I can show someone a picture that I think looks horrible, and they think it looks great. So when it comes to taking photos from one phone and comparing it to another phone, the same photo, nobody does that in real life. And your brain has an amazing capacity to make up for crap photos. In addition, you're going to take those photos and you're going to put them on Instagram, you're going to put them on Facebook or whatever. And depending on what people are using to view those pictures, they could look better or they could look worse. They could have a crappy phone that has a crappy display, and so the picture's not going to look so great anyways. Or they could have a computer that has a great display, and the picture might look a little better. So I guess my point is that I think that camera comparisons are fine for people that are really technically, you know, that concerned about it. But this isn't iPhone cameras, this isn't Samsung cameras, but it's also not, horrible crap cameras either. They're decent cameras, they take decent pictures, they're usable. And that's really all that matters to me, and that's all I really care about is, are my pictures usable? I don't take a lot of pictures with this because I use my professional camera to do that. Um, so I don't really have a lot of pictures I can show you. I can look in here and let's see, what do I have? I have some dogs. So, these are my dogs. That's a friend of mine. But that's about it. I'm happy with the pictures. Like I said, they're usable. Um, Signal is fine. I don't have the card in here right now. The one thing I'll note is that on the SIM goes in down here on this side, I believe. I believe it's this side, and the SIM tray is really hard to get out, and it's really hard to put back in because it's so slim. The case is on this phone, so it looks thicker, but it's really very slim, and it makes it hard to get the SIM out. One thing to note is that this does not have wireless charging. I'm sure you've heard about that, which kind of sucks, but I've gotten in the habit of plugging it in. So it's not a big deal to me. I can plug the phone in. I don't care. Wireless charging would be nice, but it's not a killer for me. So it's nice to have a phone that is this compact, and yet when I go to use it, it's I think it's a 6.7-inch screen. I mean, it's a huge screen and it's wide. What I really like about this compared to the Flip 4 is that this is a wide screen. It's wider than the Flip. I can still hold it in one hand. I mean, I've got, I don't know, I think average size hands. And I can still, use one thumb to get at stuff for the most part. I mean, I can get to the Play Store there if I really stretch. But it's easily one-handable, and I like it. I like the wider phone because when I go to type a text message, I have a bit bigger keyboard, and to me that's nice. So for me, it's nice because the vision in my left eye is only at 80%, so I have a little bit trouble seeing. So it's nicer for me to have a bigger keyboard. Anyways, plus there's the satisfying when you close it, which is great. So I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, if you want to buy this phone, if you want one that's got a global ROM, I would be perfectly fine trusting the AliExpress store. They are the only ones that say they have a global ROM, at least as far as I know right now, and it truly is a global ROM. It took about a little over 2 weeks to get, 2.5 weeks to get, so don't believe the shipping time when they tell you. Depending on where you live. I mean, I live in Oregon, so your mileage may vary. But again, you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.